So excited. I am so excited for today's live event. You are officially invited to the Vitale's book launch event. I will say that I really wish you were all here. I do have an incredibly beautiful audience here, but we want to celebrate with you at home as well, which is why we are broadcasting right here from the YouTube space, New York, who was gracious enough to host tonight's event. So, Laura in the Kitchen Cookbook, isn't it a beauty? It launched today, which I'm so excited. It has been quite a dream come true, and I'm just thrilled to be able to celebrate it with those of you who have made it happen, because I'm well aware that without you, it wouldn't have never happened. And tonight it's just gonna be a great time. We're gonna talk. We're gonna answer some questions. We're gonna eat. We're serving some food from the book. This is just a small array of what you can expect in the book. I've got some killer Old Bay fries, some awesome weeknight burgers, which I have to tell you, it's probably the best burger ever, and it couldn't be easier. There's no chopping involved. Some cheddar bacon waffles, because why not? And then, of course, I couldn't leave out some fan favorites from Laura in the Kitchen, because I feel like it's my way of showing you that you're incredibly important to this project. So I've got some fudgy brownies, some red velvet cupcakes. I've also got some caramel corn from my website, and then some other goodies that we're going to get to try today. But I also have a really special guest. We're going to be doing a Q&A today, answering a lot of your questions from home and some questions live, which I'm so nervous about, so be kind. I've got the ever so fabulous Michael Buckley here. Thank you for coming, my love.
Hi, thank you. Thanks for having me.
I'm so happy to have you.
Congratulations. This is so beautiful.
Thank you.
So we were at an event in New York a couple months ago talking about maybe this will happen, and
Yes.
here we are. So thank you so much for having me. What do you think when you see this? What is your first thought? Oh my gosh. What do you think?
I just like it's honestly a little bit weird, because I feel like that is such a great book. But wait a minute, that's me. So it's like I did that. It feels incredible. It really does.
And we were talking beforehand about the white on the white and how just striking and beautiful it is. Tell everybody kind of the story about this photo. You had a photo shoot that was 8 hours, but tell everybody about this photo shoot.
Yeah, right in the very beginning, we had we did a photo shoot for the cover of the book, and I can't wear white without staining it. I don't know how y'all feel, but that's the truth. And I thought, I don't really want to wear white. We're in a white kitchen. I don't want to wear white. It's not going to stand out. I want to wear something bold and colorful. And we had a whole team there that day. And we had Michael from the publisher side. And I'm not even kidding you. The photo shoot was about 8 hours. We have some people here from the publisher, which they deserve the biggest round of applause for believing in me, because it's crazy. But he like about 20 to 30 minutes into the photo shoot, that photo was taken, and he literally said, "Okay, I'm done. I have what I need. That's the cover of the book." And I thought, no. And I took a lot of other pictures wearing blue, wearing pink, whatever, because that's what I thought I wanted. When I saw the cover, I thought, how could I have chosen anything but? Because I am not the one that really stands out. You can really see the food, and you can really see like my hair. So the point of the hair is like it's like a simple attraction. It's not like all over the place. It's not confusing. It's simple to look at. You know what you're getting, and it was a no-brainer.
You could be a hair model. If this cooking thing doesn't work out, you
Well.
could have a second career as a hair model. Very
Well,
glamorous.
thank you.
Now, in terms of writing your first book, what was the best part and what was the most challenging part? Like, what was the most challenging part about putting this book together?
The most challenging part, I think, was just choosing the recipes. I had so many ideas in mind for what I wanted. I had so many ideas for like 1,001 chapters, which would have never been able to fit. So that was the most challenging part. It was like, what do I make? What do people want from me? What are they expecting from me? So that was the most challenging part. But then,
What's the one recipe that's on the chopping block that you were like, oh, I really wish that was in the book? What's one recipe that you kind of wanted?
I really wanted Jamaican jerk chicken. A grilled Jamaican jerk chicken, but I'll explain to you why I didn't put it in there in just a minute. The next book, though, I saw a clap up there, so I'm coming for that one right there. That be you, yes. I'll dedicate that one to you. The reason why I didn't was because, as you'll see in the book, everyone's gonna get a copy today, so you'll be able to see. I wanted the book to, in the book I teach you sort of like some must-haves in the pantry, some must-haves in your freezer, and really the most important thing for me that I wanted to keep in mind while writing the recipes is I wanted a lot of the same flavors to carry through the entire book, because let's face it, I don't want to break the bank and buy 16 different spices for one recipe in the dish. I want you to buy 5 or 6 items that you're going to use over and over again. And if I felt like if I put that Jamaican jerk chicken in the book, you would have to buy so many things for that one recipe that would then just stay in your pantry. So it's going to be a recipe for a different book or just for Laura in the Kitchen, whichever. Point is, you're going to get it eventually. But I just felt like I really wanted it in the book, but it would be the only thing that would really stand out. And I feel like you'd have so many things left over.
Can I tell you, those of you who are watching on the live stream, and hello, thank you for tuning in. It's so funny because we have this wonderful audience here in the New York YouTube space who knows exactly what it's like to attend a live event. I was at a taping of the Rachel Ray show once. Like, when you said Jamaican jerk chicken, they went,
Yeah.
And then when you said, I'm going to do another book, they're like, yeah. Like, the Rachel Ray show pays people to stand there and be like, or whenever she's cooking something, she's like, oh, I added some extra virgin, whatever she does, they all go, and they go, they needed no prompting.
My people don't need prompting, okay? They don't. They know what's up.
Challenging was choosing what actually ended up in the book. What, as a first-time author, was the most gratifying part about writing the book? When it was finally done, you thought...
Can I be honest with you? The most gratifying part of the book is who I was able to do it with, which was Clarkson Potter, who was the publisher for the book, which Clarkson Potter is incredible. They publish some of the best books out there, some of the best cookbooks out there, and they were at the very top of the list of people I wanted to work with because they work with some great talent, and I just didn't think it was going to happen because I thought, okay, these people work with like Jada and Ina Garten, and then there's Laura. How you doing? I just didn't think it was going to work. So that was really the most gratifying part of it for me, which I just really felt recognized. I really felt valid. Like, I really felt I had some value, and I really felt like this incredible publisher believed in me. And because it's not easy to write a cookbook, it takes a lot of different people. It's definitely a team effort, and that was the ha-ha moment for me, was when I got the copy and I looked at the back and it said Clarkson Potter. I was like, this is ridiculous. But yes.
Nice, nice. Well, you guys start thinking of questions because we're going to go through some questions, and then at the end we have some mics. We're going to turn it over to you, so start thinking of some good questions to ask. We got some questions ahead of time. Actually, Jackie M. on YouTube wrote kind of what you just said. How did it feel to hold your book in your hands for the first time? So
it felt incredible.
How long ago did you get it? When did you get the first copy?
The real copy that you're holding right now, I only got it about a month ago. The real copy that looks the same as what you guys are going to get today, and those of you who purchased it at home. And it was surreal because for a long time you're just seeing pages and you're seeing just documents being emailed to everyone. But for the first time, the actual book, the way it's going to be sold, was in my hands. And I don't have children. I hope to one day. I think it's going to be a lot better when you hold your child in your arms. A lot more gratifying.
I disagree. I don't want children. I'd rather rock your book to sleep. You're beautiful. Cook for me.
But it definitely kind of felt like something that I've done and I've worked on and I'm so proud of, and it was an amazing feeling.
Nice. Thank you, Jackie,
and
for your question.
no one's allowed to touch that first copy.
Right. Where is it now?
It's on a bookshelf that's going to get framed.
Nice. Emily, it's kind of like when you own a restaurant, you put your first $5 up. Emily C., hello Emily C., says, have you thought about what your next book will be? Jamaican jerk chicken. But as soon as you write a book, don't they start saying, what's your next one going to be?
The truth of the matter is, it takes about 1.5 to 2 years from an idea to publishing. This was an idea that we pitched in April of last year, so it's not like something that we were able to get done in 6 months. So realistically, if I want another cookbook to come out within the next 2 years or so, I need to start thinking about it, soon. I don't know. I have so many ideas. I want to do like a Christmas holiday book because I think I am so obsessed with Christmas, and I think out of everyone I know, I do not stress one bit because I've got a plan. I don't overwhelm myself. I don't do anything that's too fancy. I really don't care about a lot of traditions that people think I should have. I just want to enjoy it and celebrate it with those I love because I think that's the meaning of a holiday. So I love the whole idea of how I do Christmas, and I would love to put that on paper and really give people a guide to how to do it stress free. Then I have an idea, which I think might be my next cookbook. I'm not sure yet. I really want to go back to my roots and write something with my nonna. I think that would be, yeah. And I think that's, I'm scared to say this because they're gonna be like, it's gonna be crazy. I really want to shoot it in her kitchen. I want her to have a hand on styling the food. I want her to have a hand on making the food, and I want to share with you guys, literally step by steps between, like, from childhood to now, like. In terms of who I am is so much of how I was raised, and food played a huge role in that. So that's probably going to be my next cookbook. But she's very bossy, so I don't know.
That's a good YouTube channel.
Yeah,
Bossy Nona and Laura.
You should see the videos of her and I together. Before we film, when I go to Italy, I tell her, you got to stand right here because my mic is going to pick up. Don't move. Do you know what she does?
No.
10 seconds in, she's like over there. She's folding linens. I'm like, are we making risotto or you're folding linens for your next door neighbor? Like, figure this out. But I can't tell her that because she'll chase me out of there with a broom.
Oh
so
my God.
I just deal with it. But that would be the next one. I really want to, and I also
That'd be
want
a
to
great
include.
TV show too, please.
I know. She's
I'd
quite a
watch
personality,
that.
but I would like to do something with her. I think that's important.
When the other question was, what's your next book? Immediately I saw Laura in the kitchen. I think you should do Laura in the dining room. It's a whole thing. There's Laura in the dining room and how to entertain. You can have a whole lifestyle brand. Laura in the kitchen, Laura in the bedroom.
Okay. Oh, wow.
You and your husband. Look at her. She's like, Laura in every room you want.
Am I read?
All your branding people are like, who asked this guy to be here? Dana says, will you ever launch your own product line like pots, pans, and knives? Any plans for that? Thank you, Dana.
I don't know that anybody would buy them.
She said, say yes.
I don't know.
She just said I'd buy that. You have a whole room full of people who would buy that.
This is the thing, though. Thank you. I want to. I would love to. But I think today we're so overwhelmed with fancy platters and like these beautiful things that you actually don't want to touch. I would love to create something kind of like the book that you really want to cook from. And it's like the recipes are really easy with ingredients you can find at any grocery store. So I would love to create something that's beautiful to look at, but you can use and you can use over and over again. I don't know. Am I making sense?
Yeah, absolutely. Something you can put in the dishwasher, something you need to not shine and like, you know.
Like, let's face it, $700 for a block of knives.
Right.
Oh.
Right.
Come on. Those things get dull after a while anyway.
Absolutely. So maybe's the answer.
Yes, I'd like to, very much.
Kristen M says, this is a nice question. What is your secret to maintaining shape when you cook for a living? And I told Laura, so she walked by people and somebody said, she's so thin in person. And I was like, oh. She's so skinny. What is your
I wish I could tell you I had a secret, but I don't. First of all, I'm not.
Do you go to the gym?
I do work out.
Yeah.
I do work out, but I work out. I just do like 35, 45 minutes, maybe an hour. And I'll just like, I do a lot of beach body videos because I like that some of the trainers there, like we're besties. Like Tony and I. The truth is, and I've never made a secret of it, I love food in all shapes and form. I love every kind of food. I think the key is to just eat the right portion. I think that's key. And eat real food. Pick a real piece of fruit over a bag of fruity gummy something. I don't know. Like, the whole thing is, like, I would so much rather have a real meal than to splurge all week on things that are just really not worth it. Now, don't get me wrong. Give me a bag of salt and vinegar chips, and honey, I will go down. I love my salty snacks, but I just think at the end of the day, I eat real food. I eat the right portions. I feed my body with lots of nutrients. I always eat fruits and vegetables at least twice a day, every day, whether I'm on vacation or not.
What's your favorite fruit? What's your favorite
right
vegetable?
now, I'm completely.
I'm someone who eats chips all day, so I'm trying to learn.
Right now.
What's the best fruit for us? What do you like? What do you like?
The thing I'm obsessed with right now, which I know is not the right season, but you know what? I break the rules. I'm obsessed with mangoes. They curb every, like, I'm not kidding. If you want something sweet and yet juicy or something slightly sweet yet still has some bite to it, mango is the answer. I'm loving it. Put a little lime and chili on it. Like, I just can't. Like, I die. It's so good. It's so
What's your
good.
go-to vegetable?
My go-to, I would have to say kale. I love it raw. I love it cooked. I love it juiced. I love kale, and I think it's got such a bad reputation for being bland or boring. And the key thing is, like with anything else, and you prepare it properly, like how can you go wrong?
Nice. F. Malik 583, who sounds like somebody who married Zayn and they were born in 1983, but okay, said, what is your worst kitchen fail story? I mean, you must have a lifetime of kitchen fails, but...
I told you about the brownie one.
You did.
When I first moved to this country, I had no idea how to speak English. I didn't know how to read English either. So I wanted to make brownies for my dad, and I bought just a box of brownie mix. I don't know. I didn't know what I was doing. But anyway, and the box required that you melt together butter and chocolate, and then you mix it with a dry mixture, and you add the eggs. Well, I added the eggs to the hot melted butter and chocolate, and that curdle, like it cooked the eggs, but I just baked it anyway, so just like scrambled eggs running, and it didn't taste so good. It was not good.
Stay the course. Stay the course.
It was not. No, it was not good. And then I cut my finger off a few times. Same finger. Yeah.
You didn't need it.
Well, it's back. I actually took the piece to the hospital with me because I thought they could glue it back on, but it grew back. I did. I mean, girls gotta try.
This woman is a survivor. If she can overcome a broken finger, you can do great things at home.
Yeah, those were my
Did you ever have any fails though on camera that we never saw the light of day because it was like this was just the bad idea, or because you do videos in one take? Did you ever get to the end and be like, we can't post this?
Well, the one thing I've done, which was really the only video that was like, this can never, I can't, was I went to fry something. I don't know if it was French fries. I don't know what it was, but I used too small of a pan for the, I was being lazy and I put too many in at one time. Okay, stop.
We're not judging you.
I put too many in at one time, and the oil like bubbled over, and there was hot oil everywhere, and my whole kitchen, it was one of those moments where instead of rushing to turn the thing off, I just kind of stepped back and I went, this is not good. This isn't working for me. And then Joe was like, turn the stove off. Turn off the burner. I was like, I'm not going near there. It was a hot boiling one. You do it. So I had him turn it off. And then, again, I just kind of stood there. And then I was like, what do I do? And then I Googled remedy on how to get rid of oil from the floor. And then it told you to dump salt. So what had happened was I threw salt everywhere to try to absorb this oil. Point is, it's never made it to Laura in the kitchen. I don't think it ever will. And it took about 6 months for the oil not smell, but like this feeling of slickness in the kitchen to go away.
That could be a DVD, Laura's Kitchen
Nightmare.
Fails. I think so. People love that.
Yeah.
Tinkerbell Cat on YouTube said, if you could only make one savory food or sweet food for the rest of your life, which would you choose? Evil, I know.
I would make something savory. It'd have to be pasta because it's so versatile. I mean, you can make it a million different ways. Yes. And if I had to make one thing sweet, I would make brownies because who doesn't love brownies? And again, you can make them so many different ways. Once you have a really good solid base, which you know where you can find a really good brownie recipe? Yes! Then you can do so many different things with it. I mean, you can throw in some Snickers. I recently did Almond Joy.
Oh, that sounds good.
Well, that rocked my world.
Yeah.
I mean, it was like coconutty chocolate.
Oof.
I was all about it.
I mean, follow up on this question because we play this when we're like drinking at parties. You're on death row. It's your last meal. What do you get?
Oh, stop.
I get meatloaf. I love meatloaf.
Really?
Or shepherd's pie in a crock.
Oh,
I love comfort food. But so what's your last meal on earth you would want? Boom.
The last meal I eat on earth would probably be a really good, it would be buffalo mozzarella with prosciutto di Parma from a specific place near my mother's house because they have the best with their bread because it's literally the best. And then I would have my grandmother's gnocchi with her sundae sauce.
Yum.
And then dessert, I would have pastilla, which has nothing to do with chocolate, but it's a childhood favorite, and that's what I would have. But I wouldn't want to die. So. But if I
didn't just
to,
put you on death row.
But
and
if
I'm
I
like,
had to, that would be it.
And I would have meatloaf and a Reese's peanut butter cup because I'm disgusting.
Filthy.
Katina Ford on YouTube said, Laura, I love your videos.
I love
you seem to be such a genuinely nice person who really knows how to cook so many delicious meals. When you finally decided it was time to go and do the book, what were some of the first recipes you had on your list and knew you had to get there in no matter what? Thank you, Katina Ford. Very good question. So, what was the list you made initially? What
Yeah.
were the first recipes? So,
Thank you, Katina. That's a great question. I knew I had to put on a few of Laura in the Kitchen classics in there because it was really my only way to put you in the book because you made them popular. So I feel like, well, how can I make my audience feel like they are important and a part of this book? So I thought I have to put in a few of the popular ones, which we've got lasagna because it also just symbolizes my childhood and it was my grandmother's recipe that I've never altered. And I've got a lot of backlash for because they're like, how can you use ricotta and not bechamel? Because my grandmother has never used bechamel in lasagna ever. I don't know. I've never had it with it when I was a child. So that's her recipe. And then I had to have, of course, my brownies, my red velvet cupcakes, and I had to put in there. I knew I was going to put in there my Devil's Food chocolate cake because it's Joe's all-time favorite recipe. And I make it for him. I've made it for him every year around his birthday because it's his all-time favorite. So I knew that those were just a handful that absolutely had to be in there.
I hope he knows he hit the jackpot when he married you. I mean, definitely.
Thank you.
We love Joe. You're pretty lucky too. He's a great guy.
I'm
Joe's a great
incredibly
guy.
lucky. I'm incredibly lucky.
Mimi Medi says, "When did you start cooking? How old were you?"
Well, the very first time I remember cooking was when I made gnocchi with my grandma, which is so weird because it's a very vivid memory.
How old do you think you were?
I must have been around 4, 5, maybe.
Tiny.
I was little, and I remember so vividly because my grandfather, who was a fisherman and always worked in, farms, things like that, made me a little box, like a little box, a stool out of like wood crates, because I could reach the counter. And there's a little gnocchi board. This is why it's so vivid to me because it hurt like you know what. There's a gnocchi board that has ridges. And I'm holding it, and my job was to just roll each piece of gnocchi on this gnocchi board, which as a child, you always feel like anytime a grown up gives you a chore, you feel like a grown up, so you don't want to disappoint them. At least that's how I was. So I'm standing there on this crate rolling gnocchi, and I vividly remember the burning pain because it was kind of like rug burn. Because instead of rolling a gnocchi, I was rolling my finger.
Oh.
And I remember that at one point it got so red, and all the little ridges from the gnocchi board just started cutting into my skin, and I wouldn't say a word until my grandmother noticed it, and she was like, "Whoa, what is happening?" So that's a very vivid memory of mine. Then my dad likes to tell me that I used to make tuna tartlets with him when I was like 3 years old for like a party he was having with his friends. But that's the very first thing I remember cooking.
That's amazing. I mean, to grow up with it, I mean, how lucky you were. Now it
I
shaped your
was.
entire life. Amina on YouTube says, nice question, Amina. Do you think it's a good idea to go to culinary school, or should I begin my path through working at restaurants here and there?
Well, I think it totally depends on what you want to do. For me, I don't like cooking because I want to show you how to be a great chef. I don't like cooking because I want to show you how to make something perfect. I like cooking because of how it makes me feel and how it makes other people feel when they come into my home. I know that on any given night, if Mike and Bree come over, I can whip up a batch of something that's their favorite, and it puts an instant smile on their face, and it makes them feel like they're, comforted, and it gives them that joy of feeling like they're in their own home. Do you know what I mean? That's why I like cooking. If, however, you want to cook to be a professional, if you want to put on that chef's coat and you really want to make something great of yourself in the restaurant field, really teaching every single technique that there is and being incredible at it, I think culinary school is the answer. So really you have to think about what you want your future to be. I want my future to be about showing the ones I love how much I care for them through food because I think it's the best way to show an emotion. Because think about it. When, someone dies, at least in my family anyway, you bring them something to comfort them. When it's someone's birthday, you make a celebratory meal. When someone's had a long day, you make them something feel comforting. When it's a birthday, it's a celebration. So everything revolves around food. And that's why I love it so much. Not necessarily because I'm great at it, because I'm not the best at it at all. I know I don't have all the right techniques, but I don't think that that's what makes people remember me. I think it makes people remember me for the way they felt when they came over. So that's the difference. Do you want to cook because you want to be an incredible chef? if that's the answer, then you go to culinary school, and I know you'll do an amazing job at it. And you will start in restaurants and sort of start your way up because no one comes out of culinary school and becomes the next Bobby Flay. I mean, he started in restaurants and worked their way up. So, but if you want to cook just to put a smile on someone's face and really to make you happy that you're showing love and passion for someone, then I don't think it's necessary.
I learned so much in that answer. I mean, that was amazing. So, basically, if you want to be a chef and go work at a job or even open your own restaurant someday, go to culinary school, follow the proper steps. But for you, cooking it's a career, but more so, it's a lifestyle, it's a passion.
Yeah.
So, I mean, that's amazing.
Exactly.
That's all anyone wants in life, though, is to just be doing for a living what they're
Yeah.
passionate about.
Exactly.
And that's what you're doing. Easy Minor Flow, love your YouTube channel name, says, what inspired you to start on YouTube? So back in like 2009 when you started, 10, what was that decision like?
It was so not my idea. Wasn't. I went through a little bit of a tough time, which not very many people know about. I went through quite a depression for a couple years. My dad's restaurants closed, and just due to economy and all that fun stuff, the real world. And I really felt like I didn't have much of a purpose because for a long time I worked in his restaurants. I worked in front of people. That was all I knew, and I really loved interacting with people. And I felt I was incredibly depressed. I was very sad every day. But at that time, I started working for my husband's family business, which has nothing to do with food. Although I was very good at it, I was very good at what I did. It just wasn't something that I knew I could make a career out of. And I told my husband, I said, I really want to be back in the food world somehow, but I didn't want to go work in a restaurant, be a short order cook. I didn't want to work at a restaurant. That's the thing. I only wanted to work for my dad's place because it was so personal. It felt so comforting to be there with the people I had known for years. And then I told Joe I wanted to write a cookbook, and he literally laughed at me. But that's because he's smart. He was like, listen, you're going to take all your savings and you're going to self-publish a cookbook that no one is going to buy. Who is going to buy your cookbook? I said, I just want people to cook. I was surrounded by people who, like I'm sure a lot of you, busy, students, you've got a small baby. I mean, the last thing on your mind is putting a meal together. So I was surrounded by that, and I thought, I want to show these people that you can do it. You don't need fancy equipment. You don't need fancy ingredients. You don't need to go to a culinary school. You just need a little bit of passion and maybe a little push. I want to show these people that they can do it. So that was my whole idea. And he said, well, why don't you take that idea and do it on the web? And at the time, YouTube was still somewhat new with like how-to content. There wasn't really like a cooking show. There wasn't much going on in that field. I didn't want to do it because I thought I'm going to get made fun of. People are going to tell me I suck. Like a list a mile long. And then about, I don't know, one random night, oh, I die. That's so sweet. Congratulations. Oh. Then one night, I might have had 2 glasses or 3 of wine. And I agreed. And the rest is history.
What was your first video on YouTube? What was it called?
It was how to make bruschetta.
Nice.
Yeah.
Nice. You got some loyal fans
Yep.
here who know.
It was a simple, basic thing, and I knew a lot of people in my life that asked me for the recipe all the time, and so that way I would just point them to the video. That was the goal.
And how long since you first uploaded in 2010 did it take for your channel to kind of catch on and you realize, oh, this is something?
It started to catch on quite quickly, way quicker than I expected because
perhaps there was a need for that.
Yeah,
because there wasn't a lot.
that's exactly it. People were like, "Oh, you're just like me. Your kitchen looks like mine," and that was really so encouraging to me. So it kind of started to grow some popularity on its own. And then 1 year later, about a year later, I came back from a cruise, and I said, I'm putzing along here. I'm doing like 2 videos a week. I said, if I really want to grow this, what I have to do is grow my library. If I want people to find me, then I have to, I have to own the library for food on YouTube. So what I started doing was for 9 months, I uploaded every day until I built enough of a library to say, okay, I've got 400 recipes. I'm good. I can cut back to 3 a week, which is currently what we do now. And that really, really helped. And at that point, I became the person, like a human recipe box where everybody went to for recipes. And
It's funny, I have a similar story. I was on a cruise when I had the same revelation.
Yeah?
I was on a cruise in December of 2007, and I was posting 3 days a week, and I just decided to kick. So starting January, I came home, and '06, I was posting haphazardly or 3 days a week. And starting January of 2007, same thing. I was posting 5 days a week, but my revelation came on a cruise as
Mine
well.
too. I don't know.
I don't know. There's so much alcohol and cheesecake on the cruise. You have all these grandiose ideas. I'm going to go home and post 5 days a week. Rhea's channel says, my question is, what is 3 of your favorite types of food from other countries, and what's your favorite dish from your book? What is your favorite child? That's the worst question. Who's your favorite child? So what are 3 types of food from other countries you love?
I love anything Mexican. Like, I love anything with a Tex-Mex flair. Like, I just think there's very few combinations are better than jalapenos and cilantro and lime and chilies of any kind. Like, not very much can beat that. I love that, and I really, really, really love Thai food, which is something that not a lot of people know. I love Thai food. It's very similar in a lot of ways to Italian food. It's got a lot of aromatics. They use a lot of basil. Their basil will kick Italian basil's booty because it's so much stronger. It's amazing. A third one. Oh, I love Indian food. I love Indian food.
Nice.
It's very different than Italian food in that it uses a lot of spices. I love any Middle Eastern food as well, but I think that's what I love about it. It's so different than the norm. And when you have it right, the balance of spiciness to creaminess is just I could salivate.
Nice. And I hate to ask, but do you have a favorite recipe from the book?
From the book,
Is it too
favorite
difficult to
It's too
choose?
difficult. That's the telling your
Yeah,
picking
I
your
know.
favorite child. That's hard.
Let me motor through these, and then around 5 minutes,
Okay,
we'll
come
do
back to
questions
me
from
with
you
that
guys.
one.
So think about
Come
questions.
back to me with that one.
DVEP on Instagram says, what are your favorite recipes from Italy that you just can't cook as easily in the States?
Oh, sfogliatelle is an easy one. It's like a little pastry with like a ricotta filling, which is so good. But the truth of the matter is, the recipe to make the actual flaky dough calls for so much lard.
We have a lot of lard in America, but I'm
I
fine.
just
Thank
don't.
you.
I just don't. I don't feel comfortable using it. I don't even know where to find it.
No.
And I tried using, vegetable shortening or butter. It just does not come out the same. It's nearly impossible. So that would be one. And then I think that's really it. That's the only recipe I can think of that I can say I cannot pull off to save my own life.
Do you have a P.O. box?
Do I? Yes, I do.
Can the fans send you some lard from Italy, please? Ciara Enoch 34 says, name one food or ingredient you just couldn't live without.
Without one food or ingredient, olive oil?
Olive oil.
Olive oil.
Livisa Beauty says, Sei bellissima, Laura. Emo le tua ricutis. Saluti dalla Germania.
Oh,
Does
goodness.
that mean you are beautiful, Laura?
I don't know what you just read. Hold on.
I salute your...
Where do you even see this? Ow.
Sei bellissima,
Ow.
Laura. I'm a salute.
It says,
I salute
sei
your...
bellissima, Laura. Amo le tue ricette. Saluti dalla Germania. That's
you-
what she
and you-
said. Thank you very much.
I'll ask you some
Thank
questions
you
about
very
Miley
much.
Cyrus, see how you do. What did you just say?
She said, you're beautiful, Laura. I love your recipes. Hello from Germany.
Oh, well, hello from Germany watching at home. It's time to go to the audience.
Yay!
So,
Yay!
if you have some questions, please raise your hand. Laura would love to answer them. Please
Right there. Go
say
for
your
it.
name and your question. Introduce yourself to Laura.
Fabulous lady in red.
The broken hand.
Aw.
Hey, Laura.
Hi,
So
love.
the last time I saw you was at your pilot. So
Yes!
wanted to say I just love following you and you're
Thank
awesome.
you.
Your Sunday sauce has changed my life. And your
Aw.
lasagna. Are there any more prospects for TV for you?
Well, the legal system is so complicated. How do I put this? There is a company in this building that I've worked with before on Simply Laura that we just stay tuned.
Le-
I don't know. I got no.
Legally, we appreciate your alleged crypticness. Stay
Yes.
tuned.
You
Anybody
stay tuned.
else? You, sir, in the front. So
Sir in
handsome
the
with
front.
flowers.
Sweet.
Introduce yourself.
Hi, Laura.
Hi,
I'm Chris.
love.
I got a question for you. I'm in the process of writing my own book, and I just was wondering, how do you stay motivated to keep on going and not give up? Because I'm at the point where I'm thinking this isn't going to happen. What should I do?
The thing is, if you are doing something you are really passionate about, you'll find a reason. You just can't stop. Like writing the recipes for the book, I can only put about 110 to 120 recipes in the book. If I could have it my way, I would have put 500 because I couldn't stop. The ideas kept flowing, and when there were times where I would think to myself, I need a break. I need to back up because I'm just doing so much at one time. I think the thing is, when you're passionate about something, you'll see it through. And the motivation is just to better yourself and for people to just see that passion flourish. I think that's what keeps me motivated. Listen, I I have a YouTube channel, okay? I'm sure you can relate. There's no shortage of how much hate and brutality I get from an everyday basis. If I listened to that, I would have quit a long time ago. But when you realize there's this many of them and this many of you, there's just, there's no better feeling than to know that you're doing something you're passionate about and other people are appreciating it. I think you keep going. I think your book is probably going to be amazing. And when you're done, you're going to cry like a baby, like I did, because you'll be so proud of it. And you'll be so, so happy you went with it.
Good luck, Chris.
Good luck.
Over here.
Hi Laura,
Hi,
this
love.
is Nikki. I just want to know, how do you get lots of ideas and inspiration for new recipes? Like I see every week you have 2 to 3
Yeah.
videos. How do you get ideas for the new recipes every week?
Yeah, that's a great question. A lot of times the idea recipes will come from you guys. So right now I put on Twitter not too long ago, hey, pumpkin season's coming up. What do you want to see? And I just got an incredible amount of feedback. So I took all those ideas and I wrote them down, and little by little I'll be doing them all because as many as I can. So that's one way of doing it. Another way of doing it is I'm inspired by what I do in my normal life, everyday life. I also have a lot of recipes from my childhood, and I also have a lot of recipes that I made when I worked with my dad, so I've got a big library from that. But another really great way is when you get to the point of where I am, where you have all the basics. You've got your basic chocolate cake, your basic brownie, your basic sauce, your basic this. You can take those recipes and you can twist them and turn them into something completely new. Once you have a base for pound cake, you can infuse it with lavender. You can infuse it with lemon. You can take out the sour cream and swap out with vanilla yogurt, and now you give it a little bit of a twist. You can put a streusel topping on it. So once you have a basic recipe, then you can turn that into a million different things, and that's something I really love sharing with you guys, because then it's kind of like it's kind of like a grilled chicken. How many ways can you have a plain grilled chicken? Well, you can take that, you can marinate it a million different ways, and you've got new recipes. Ones that I think people really appreciate, so that it feels like, oh, okay, I can make a batter for pound cake because it's using basic ingredients I already have on hand, and I can turn it into something really special. That's another way I do it, but really find out what people are pinning. That's another really great one, and they'll tell you what they're pinning. People will tell me on Twitter, hey, I saw this crazy things that I'm never going to attempt to make because it looks so difficult. Can you show us how to make a realistic version of that? And I'm more than happy to. There are going to be times where they ask me to make things I will never make. You guys know I'm not a very creative person. I don't make gimmicky cupcakes that look like Pokemon shape. I don't even know. Where do you even find those things? Anyway, point is, I stick to real food, things that taste good, and if it's something that people want to see, then I'm more than happy to share. So, yeah,
Anybody else?
right here. Loving that jacket. Love it.
Hi, Laura.
Hi.
So my name is Basha. I just have a question. So when you said that you agreed to doing Laura in the kitchen, did that set come about? Did you guys create it? Did you guys design it?
We built it. So what happened was we built it specifically for it. My husband was like, "Oh, we're gonna build the set. It's gonna be great." I think his idea, he really had this idea going for a long time. Well, I had no idea really. So we built it. Him and I built it. His dad helped. We had Mike helping us. He mainly just ran through walls to cut them down, literally. Um, and it was built, and we didn't do anything with it for a year, maybe over a year, because I wanted no part of it. But we built it. That's why there's a big difference for me when it comes to YouTube content. For us, it was something that we really wanted to do, and we wanted to do it as best as we could from the very beginning. It wasn't something that we just stumbled upon and it was awesome. Oh, look what we can do. It was really planned, and we weren't going to host on YouTube. Don't tell them that. Because I don't know anything about it. I just want a web series, but we didn't know that you needed to host it on something to make, I don't know. My husband's an engineer. That's his field, but Dad was like, well, we have to host it on YouTube. I was like, sure, great. And then we ended up developing a great relationship with them and with Google, and I've never looked back, and it's still one of the best relationships I have to this day.
Nice.
You choose. That's difficult for me.
Hi.
Hi.
My wife is a huge fan,
Oh.
and I'm one of those guys where it was just like, oh no, she's here. She's looking at another cook channel again.
What's that
Then
kill?
it actually got to the point where I was like, I heard the music, and I was like, is Laura on? Is
Oh,
Laura's on right
yeah.
now? So, watching your videos, it was just more of I see that it looks like a lot of planning is involved. I'm like, what is your day when you're planning for a video to be released on YouTube?
Well,
What does it
we
look like?
film multiple videos in one, and we usually film a couple times a month for several days. So I'll just choose 3 or 4 days, and and those 4 days are strictly to filming the recipes that I have planned. The rest of the time in that month, it's about planning which recipes. It's about testing the recipes. It's about writing the recipes. It's about making sure that they are good, they are solid. There are some recipes I don't have to test because I make them in my real life so often. Like I recently made, which you'll see on Thursday. I've been making this killer, really quick and easy. Like it's like a chicken and lime and rice soup. It is so good. Takes like 15-20 minutes. We've been eating. I don't know how I don't look like that soup right now because that's all I've been eating. But that's not something I need to test because I can do it with my eyes shut. But it still needs to be written. So I have to test it in a way to write it. So those 4 days a month I will film, and that will take 12 hours a day. And then the rest of the time, it's just development. Now, when I'm working with my cookbook, that was months of me being in my studio kitchen recipe testing. I'm talking for months and months. If my friends wanted to hang out with me, they needed to come over because I wasn't going anywhere. For my TV show, there was a team that I tested with, so it's different. But for my YouTube channel, it's just me and Joe, and it usually is 12 hours a day when we do film, and the rest of the time during the month is about testing. Now I don't do it every day because I don't have to do it every day. I'll just do it for however long it takes, and then the rest of the time I can sort of schedule it so I can come to New York for business meetings. I can travel for whatever, things like that.
Hi, Laura.
Hi,
Nice to meet you.
it's nice to meet you.
My name is Felicia. I just want to thank you for all that you do. You're such an
Aw.
inspiration, and congratulations on the
Thank
book.
you.
My question is, what other chefs inspire you, or who do you look up to?
Well, that's a really great question. I don't think it's a secret at all that I'm obsessed with Nigella Lawson. She's one that I think she's so unapologetic for who she is. And I love that. I thrive on that because I think that's so lost in today's world. She's not trained. She doesn't pretend to be trained. She's amazing, and I think that's great. But then when you meet someone like Rachel Ray, to most people, you guys know her from Food Network, which she's amazing at hosting a show. But what I love about her and someone like Jamie Oliver as well, which I love his cooking, someone like Jamie Oliver and Bobby Flay, they are powerhouses when it comes to their businesses. I mean, they are not, and I know this personally from knowing them. Hi! I didn't see her there. They're someone like they are so involved with their businesses that I think is amazing. It's like, how can you be at so many places at once? But they do it. They figure out how. They're very involved. Bobby Flay still cooks at his restaurants, which is amazing. I mean, how do you find time to even cook let alone cook at a restaurant. So I really admire that. And when I feel like I can't possibly take on another project, I think of that. I think, well, these people are doing it. How can I not do it? So it's very inspiring. So those
Very
are
good.
just a
We have
few.
time for one more question, and then we have a special treat. So, yay.
Hi, Laura. My
Hi.
name's Danielle. So you do a lot of work with social media, and I know that, especially my generation, it's really
Yeah.
difficult to compartmentalize and
Yes.
sort of stay focused. How are you able to balance both and focus on your book and your TV show and everything, and still be so involved in social media?
Well, social media is the only way, in a sane way, that I can stay connected with you. So to me, it's the first thing I do when I wake up in the morning. I read your tweets. I think people on Twitter secretly hate me because I retweet you guys so much. I don't really care. I think they're going to ban me, especially after today. I don't know how they can.
Oh, I hid you in my feed. No, I'm just kidding.
Probably.
I'm
I'm
just kidding.
sorry, but it's really important, you know. And Instagram is a really great way for you guys to see what I'm doing on an everyday basis, whether it's something food related or not. And on Twitter, we have the funniest conversations. Your memes kill me. Um, I can't. You kill me with the memes. And then Facebook is a really great way to get people. Like a lot of you post recipes that you've recreated, and then you write a little blurb about it on Facebook, and I love that. It's like I'm seeing what you see, really, and it's a great way for me to see. Oh, they're watching and they're really liking it, they're recreating it, and it just makes me feel connected to you, and that's why I'm so active on it because I think it's really important. And also, I try to keep you in the loop with it as much as I can with what's going on. So that's that.
So, Laura, we have something we're going to show. Tell
Yes.
everybody what we're going to show to everybody at home as well.
I think for the past 5.5 years, the most requested video has been a kitchen tour. And I think people think my kitchen's like haunted. I keep getting questions. Is your kitchen haunted? It's not. There's air vents above the ceiling. That's why sometimes the pots move, but it is not haunted. But we filmed a kitchen tour video for you guys so you can really get to see behind the scenes of everything I see. And, you know, it's not perfect, and I'll explain to you in the video why it's not perfect. But it's what makes Laura in the Kitchen, I think, authentic and unique. It's real. It's not pretentious. It's basic, and it's home. So I wanted to share it with you because I felt like it's a really special day, and it's another really great way to bring you guys into my world a little bit more. So
Let's roll that
let's
clip.
roll that.
Hi guys! I hope you enjoyed the live event. I know it was an incredible day. So what I wanted to do to give you just a little bit something special and just to kind of bring you into my world a little bit more is to show you something that I have gotten requested for the past 5.5 years, almost 6 years since I've started Laura in the Kitchen, and that is a kitchen studio tour. Now, many of you know that Joe and I actually built this studio years ago in our very own home. We have since then moved, but we took it with us. We literally took everything with us and we rebuilt it here in our new house, exactly the same. The only difference is that our fridge, which you'll see in a minute, the spot for our fridge is not in yet because we needed to order a new fridge to be able to fit into the space. So let's get started. Very first thing I want to show you is above me. Now, the reason why we built a studio is so that everything could be equipped with the right lighting and so that we didn't have to worry about, you know, having to tear stuff up and tear it down. So if you see around me, there's lights everywhere. So when I mention on Laura in the Kitchen that things get really, really hot in here, it's because they do. These are so hot, it's incredible, but they really come in handy in the winter because it keeps you nice and warm and toasty. This is a full functioning kitchen. It works just like a normal kitchen would, except, like I said, it's all equipped with professional lighting and all that fun stuff. So all I gotta do is just really turn on a switch and we are ready to film. So that's really exciting. Let's see. Oh, the island, if many of you have been with me for a long time, you remember that this island used to have a wood top. The top of it used to be made out of wood, which it still is. It's underneath of it, and we created this countertop to be able to fit over it because I wanted something that was smooth and easy to keep clean, and we needed to customize it in order to put a burner on top of it because back in the old days I used to have to go back there to show you to cook with you, but It wasn't easy to see. It was kind of a mess. It was dark. We couldn't light it, all that stuff. So when we built it in the island, it was like a game changer. Okay, to my right, this is where my fridge used to be. But since the fridge we had was much, much, much bigger than the opening of the doors here, we needed to order a new fridge, which has not come in yet, but should be in very soon. But pretend I'm the fridge, doors opening, putting cool stuff in, taking stuff out. But for now, I just use my regular fridge upstairs when I need to keep things cold or whatnot. These are actual real cabinets, except I don't keep very much in here, if anything at all. And if you know anything about me in real life, I do not care for corner cabinets because I'm short and I can't see things and I can't reach things. So I just keep bowls and stuff that I never really use. So that never really gets used. And then this, again, there's nothing in here because, like I'll show you in just a second, this has some salt and pepper and a little bit of vinegar in there. And this holds all of my aprons and all of my dish towels because I largely use this kitchen for testing, recipe testing and stuff as well. So I'm the kind of I'm a visual person. I like seeing things in front of me. So what I have here instead, it's gonna look like a little mini supermarket, but if you cook a lot, if you do this for a living, if you're writing cookbooks, then you know you need a lot of stuff. So what I have here first is, I think this is called a cooling rack, a rolling rack. I'm not really sure. I'm sure that you've seen these a lot at restaurants and things like that, but these are awesome. You can move them around. I'm actually getting another one. It should be in soon because this is amazing. What I do, because normally when I film for Laura in the kitchen, look at this, I can't get it back in. Normally when I film for Laura in the kitchen, I don't film just one recipe at a time. I film multiple recipes at a time. So what I do is I will take half the day, or maybe like a few hours of the day in the very morning, and I will set up all of my recipes here on the shelves. It's awesome. Of course, the things that need to be refrigerated, they are on shelf, baking sheets in the refrigerators already and all prepped. It just makes life so much easier. And then when I was recipe testing for the book, I used this like it was my best friend, and I also had 3 additional tables laid out in front of me so that I could use it all the time. And then this is really, it's somewhat in order. It's in my kind of order. It might not make sense to a lot of people, but it makes sense to me. These are just, I don't even know what these shelves are called, to be honest with you. We just get them at a regular big store like a Home Depot or a Lowe's or something like that. These hold most of my stuff from, what are these called? Platters, okay? Platters, because I can't think of the word, to my cooking stuff. I have a lot of extra ingredients. I have a lot of extra stuff because I need to be able to, if I have an idea of a recipe in my head, I need to be able to get it going. I need to be able to test things. I always buy extras because you never know, something could go wrong. And then over here, I've got just more racks with more random stuff all over it. This needs to be organized again because we just went through a big shoot and I filmed, I think, 9 or 12 recipes in the course of a few days. So things are a little bit scattered, but I didn't want to prepare too much for this. I wanted to show you really what this looks like if you were to walk into my studio kitchen right now, because it's real life. And if I'm going to bring you into my world, it needs to be the real thing. So that's why I said, you know what? I'm not going to make things perfect because down here, you got to see it when it's happening. I mean, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10 recipes between 2 or 3 days. There's food everywhere. There's stuff everywhere. We love it. We have so much fun. I think of you guys along the way, our interaction, your love for Laura in the kitchen, and my love for you. So, point is, this is real life. And then just more stuff, more baking sheets, pots over here, slow cooker. And because I cook a lot, I can't just deal with a regular trash can. So I've got one of these big ones, which I clean and sterilize all the time. This is the kind of trash can you would put outside, but it really works well if you cook a lot or you have a really big family. That's what I would do. Now I'm going to show you one more thing because it's special to me, and it's special because Joe put it together. And it's something that we really worked hard on because I know you guys love live events. So this is Joe's station. Sorry if it's echo, if there's a lot of echoing going on, but this is his live broadcast station. It is so cool. When he's back here, when we're live and doing a live event and I'm cooking with my dad or whatever, he's literally here moving everything from a computer. It's amazing. I'm talking about him like he doesn't exist when he's on the other side of this. So I appreciate my JoJo. He does a great job. And then last, but certainly not least, this is where we take the photos. Now, we are not professional photographers, and when it comes to the photos for Laura in the kitchen for the thumbnails, they need to be the real thing. I don't like using a fake photo or making something look perfect. It needs to be the thing you actually see in the video. That's gonna be the picture. So that's what we do. We're not professional photographers. I'm really not good at taking food photos at all. But so this kind of turns on. It's really, really bright. It's white. That way it just focuses on the food and we're good to go. So I think that about rounds it up. I'm gonna just take you back into the kitchen with me. Let's hope I don't fall. Oh wait, you've got to see this. You've got to see all my director's chairs. I mean, come on. Right? So anyway, this is it. This is Laura in the Kitchen studio. I hope that you found this fun. I hope that you found this, I don't know, I hope that you got to know me more. I hope that if you ever had questions about what the studio looks like behind the scenes, that this has answered those questions for you. Maybe when the fridge is in, maybe around the holidays when things are switched up, maybe we'll do another one. I'm not quite sure. I do want to mention that I do have a separate room that's next to the studio that holds a lot of my seasonal things. So it's like my decorations, I don't know if you noticed there's no Christmas platters and Christmas dishes or nothing like that because I keep those in a separate room because I would have absolutely no room here. So that's everything. Thank you so much for being a part of this magical ride with me. It has been by far the most rewarding adventure of my entire life, and I have you guys to thank for it. It's been just truly something that I dreamed about it. I thought a lot about it. Didn't think it would ever happen because let's face it, I'm just a girl from South Jersey with a big dream, and you guys made it possible for me, and I just couldn't thank you more. I love each and every one of you to the moon and back. I hope that you feel a part of this community. I hope that you feel as an important part of this community as I think you should feel, because I feel like you're a very important part of all of this. Thank you so much for watching, and I'll see you soon. Bye.
Well, that was lovely.
I didn't wear waterproof mascara, so I can't. Yeah.
Watching that back, what did you think?
It's crazy. I feel like I'm gonna cry.
Yeah. We only have a few minutes left. What would
yeah.
you like to say? What are some closing thoughts for the people here
I
and the people watching at home?
I just hope you guys know how incredibly valuable you are to me. And I just hope that you all, I feel like I'm really gonna cry. I don't want to. I just feel like I owe you guys a lot. And it's been such an amazing ride. And I hope to have you here for many, many, many more years, many, many more adventures. And I love you guys from the bottom of my heart. I really do.
Yay.
Thank you.
Well, thank you for joining us. We'll see you next time for Laura's Jamaican Jerk in the kitchen. And
Thank you.
Remind everybody they can get a copy of the book. Now it's on sale.
Yes, you can get. Yes.
All right.
Yes, you can get a copy of the book wherever books are sold. Just search for, if you're out of the country, just search for your local bookshop to see if they're carrying it. Everybody in the audience, I feel like Oprah. You get a book, and you get a book.
You get a book. Hi!
A really big round of applause for Michael for being an incredible host.
Thank you.
I'm so happy you were here.
Thank you, Laura. Thank
I
you
really
for having
appreciate it.
me.
And just a big thank you to Google and everybody else for really making it all happen to begin with. So thank you guys for watching. We'll see you soon out there.
Bye.
Bye.
Yay.